Hello, this is Steven Hour. Yes, we're back with another Batman 66 episode review. And today, we'll be reviewing the episode, The Funny Felons? Felines? Anyway, which will be where the dynamic trio will be going up against Joker and Catwoman. So without any further ado, let's get straight into this review. We'll begin our episode with Gotham State Penitentiary, where Warden Crichton and Bruce Wayne are releasing Joker. Now, Joker has been released, and he seems to have reformed and become a changed man, even not doing a cigar gag with the warden. And just as he leaves, wearing a completely different suit, just as he leaves and exits the prison, Catwoman turns up in her cat car, and they pull off a fake kidnap, where the Joker is essentially taken away and they drive away from the prison. Bruce and the warden are overseeing this, and are concerned about the event. So the warden ends up leaving to, have some like highway blocks entering the city, and the Batman says he'll call up Commissioner Gordon. And as he does that, he also calls Alfred and tells her to plug the bat phone into that phone, anticipating the call. Within the usual call, Gordon calls up Batman, telling of the situation, and he says he'll be there. And they hang up. Just as that happens, the warden enters and is worried with those two, with Catwoman kidnapping Joker. Who knows what could be going on. We then do the usual opening credits, and then we see Batman and Robin arrive at police headquarters. Now across the street from them is Catwoman and the Joker, who are staying at some sleazy hotel. And Catwoman plans to send one of the many clues for their big caper. Just as Batman, Robin, Commissioner Gordon, Chief Hara are in the office discussing what's going on, Catwoman fires essentially some kind of bullet into police headquarters, Gordon's office specifically, and everyone gets down on the ground. As Batman and Robin are going around, and Barbara just happens to enter the Gordon's office and quickly gets down on the ground, Batman quickly gets the bullet out of the window and manages to examine which room it came from. Batman and Robin then go to the apartment, or the apartment slash hotel room, really it's hotel room, and do some investigating for possible clues, and managing to come to the conclusion that Catwoman and the Joker were in this room. Batgirl then comes in and secretly takes a piece of paper that was found on the ground without them knowing, or at least she thinks so, has a conversation with them and leaves. But Batman knows that she took the piece of paper. We then head to Joker and Catwoman at their new hideout, along with their new gang, and it turns out that the two plan to steal a bunch of gunpowder left by a famous Gotham criminal, probably from the old times. And when they decipher a poem for possible clues, or in this case objects, to help find out where the missing gunpowder is. They plan to use this gunpowder to blow into the Gotham City depository and essentially steal everything inside. We then head to Barbara at Barbara at her library, where she tries to find the poem, but it turns out the poem has been stolen, and it's the same poem Catwoman's been reading out of. She finds a microcopy, then goes to Gordon's office, and then calls up Batman and tells him to meet her at this recording studio, or this recording tycoon's place. The two then quickly slide down the poles and head there. At this tycoon's place, it's a usual him trying to record this big recording tycoon's place, him trying to record this big number that he plans to release. And just as that happens, everyone leaves and he goes to lay down on his bed. Just as that happens, Catwoman, the Joker, and their men come in and essentially, gang up on him. They then quickly knock him out and steal his nightshirt that he was wearing. Batman and Robin turn up and a bat fight breaks out. It's nice and fun with the Joker and the henchmen getting knocked out. Just as they're about to apprehend the Joker and Catwoman, the Joker tries to pull off some kind of story about the whole thing, that it was just a joke. However, and when he gets the opportunity, when they put their guard down, he then Joker buzzes them to the point where essentially they would be slowly die. And just as that happens, Catwoman, Joker, and the henchmen make their leave. Batgirl then arrives and gives them some kind of pill that revives them. And just as they are revived and check on the tycoon to see if he's okay, they then head to this millionaire's place, as that's the next possible clue in the poem. As they get there, they find him knocked out and quickly, bring him to his feet. And he says the oddest thing, that they had stolen nothing really of valuable, but instead they stole a cradle that he bought at an antique store, and he's surprised. However, he also says he's surprised because they didn't left that long ago, and he's wondering why they didn't run into them on their way in. And as a result, the dynamic duo are then questioning where could they have gone. We then cut to outside the mansion where the Joker, Catwoman, and two of their henchmen plan to ambush them. And that's where we end this episode. Really, nothing really changes much. Gordon, O'Hara, and Alfred kind of fade into the background for like the smaller scenes they have. And Warden Crichton pops up for a very brief appearance at the very beginning of the episode. Really, only Batgirl, Batman, and Robin really have a chance to shine in this episode, along with their villain. The Joker is back, still portrayed by Cesar Romero, and he's fun as always. If I could really say one criticism, but it's more of an inconsistency rather than criticism, it's even though Joker is said to be like the main villain, he's really not the one coming up with the plot. He's just tagging along, probably for the fun of it. And that's my real gripe, is he's really not the real main villain, despite what the credits are led to believe. This time around, he is teaming up with Eartha Kitt's Catwoman, and she is absolutely villainous, bloodthirsty. Pretty much her incarnation we were introduced to in her debut episode is still present here, and she's really the one really running this episode. Well, not just this episode, but really this whole plot was her idea. She could have done it by herself, but I guess she included the Joker because she needed some help, and who else would be more helpful than having one of the most notorious villains in Gotham's Rogues Gallery to team up with. The two absolutely work well off each other. If all this was Julie Newmar's take, I don't think she would have worked well off with Joker, but this version for me does absolutely so well. It's really fun to see these two pair up together. The funny feline felons, sorry, that's the real name of the episode, is so far an okay episode. The production quality doesn't really bother me as much, and so far it's really fun. Not really groundbreaking in grand scheme plot, but it's fun nonetheless, and the two villains work off each other really well. They work so well together. And there we have it. That was this episode. Join us tomorrow when we conclude this two-part chapter with the jokes on Catwoman. So tune in to the next Steven hour, the next Steven time, ladies and gentlemen. So long for now.